So I decided not to add a joke to the end of this out of respect, but I was unaware of the last two videos that Trump wrote instructions to obliterate Iran in case he was assassinated. This changes things a little bit. It also confirms what I've been saying is true. I've been thinking about how am I going to make this video. Because it is so involved and we could go in so many different directions. I will say this. I'll start with saying this. In order for him to say that, he had to realize that something was leading him into that, leading into that direction, right? So, if you think about this, if you look at the executive orders, which I already knew they were odd to begin with, if you look at them, you know, how he treated neighbors, you know, I've talked about this in the last videos, how he treated the neighbors of terrorists, Mexico to Canada, the deportations, I didn't mention deportations, how the deportations used government, used the Globemaster 3, which is a military aircraft, to deport illegal immigrants to Mexico, which wouldn't be a deportation. It would be you would call that a government-sponsored reverse evacuation. So they were evacuated, they were not deported. You know this because on the White House, they showed this on the White House website. And I was like, that don't make sense. That don't align with what Trump would do. He would just deport them. He would not use military aircraft. And I believe at one point even there was some talk about using Air Force One to deport them. This is not. Something's off there. And then there was the whole DEA raid thing and the sending him back to Colombia. He had great success with this. Colombia, they backed down, and the drug cartels who were involved in the nightclub, they were brought back. And DEA never reveals a raid because in a court case, you know, I was actually studying to become a DEA agent, so I know how this works, right? And so they wouldn't do that because of court case, but everyone that was involved, they were sent to Colombia, and everyone knows that the CIA is attached to Colombia, and then it exposed the whole drug network and everything else. This is not Trump, guys. This is not Trump. These executive orders were leveraged using his strengths and what people would see in him to do it, and he knew that he's being led to something. So when he saw the writing on the wall, he was being led to this. Gaza being U.S. property, he was being led, guys. But I was just heard the other day, yesterday actually, that everyone wants to obliterate Iran, and it's going to be epic. They said it's going to happen on the weekend. Which, in Trump's mind, think about this thought experiment, psychological experiment. Let's say that I wrote something, that something would happen if I was to die, and I said, if I die, then this happens. But the supporters want that other thing to happen, completely overshadowing the condition that I would have to die first. They say, oh, we want that to happen. Everyone's in support of that, right? So in Trump's mind, he's thinking, oh my God, they're not saying it, but they want me dead. See what I'm saying there? That's how people think. So they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. And now you have your supporters saying, I'm going to die. So it was more or less a cry for help when he wrote those instructions. But now I know that he's fighting it. But I can also tell you this was also planned. I know that. I'll explain in a later video of why this had to happen. But it was. Um, and isn't it interesting that on the weekend, it's just 2 days, well, if you count Sunday, that would be 2 days before February 18th, right? So, and literally, really, you could say it goes both ways because his supporters say this is going to be epic. I also say it's going to be epic, but he isn't going to die. I make that clear. He isn't going to die physically, but he is going to wish he was dead with what's about to happen. And I got a list of what's about to happen to him. Um, and I can also tell you what's about to happen to Israel as well. This is really bad news for Trump, and I'm not just saying that because I don't like Trump. Because I, if I just go look by the facts, I just look at the information, objectively, not subjectively, and that's what I look at. So, and it is a lot to process this. It's hard to make a video because it's so much, so fast. So, let me think. Feels like I gotta say something else. Um, I can give you an idea of what's about to happen to him. His entire presidential career is gonna be over. Um, he'll still remain president. His money, his connections, they won't help him with what's about to happen to him. He is not gonna die, but it's gonna feel like he died in a different way, which, from my experience, that is a signature CIA move right there. You feel like you're being tracked. You feel like you're being watched. They make it. You don't see them, but you know they're there. It's very direct, and they will make you feel like you're a target and you're going to be killed because they see something in you and you think you're going to die, but you're going to die in a different way. It's a crazy experience. That if you've experienced it, you will know what I'm talking about. It sounds crazy to everybody else, but I know. But yeah, they're just gonna throw them away because they already used them for, they used them to expose the drug cartels, the Colombia. You know, Trump resigning on their power, and it. I mean, the writing's on the wall for me because, you know, you guys probably see it too. I see it. I mean, either Iran gets obliterated and nuked, or Trump has everything taken from him. He, I don't want to say what's going to happen to him exactly, but I can tell you it's unprecedented what's about to happen to him. It would completely blow your mind when you see it. Dude, I'll put it to you this way. It's gonna be so big that the most devout atheist would say God is bringing justice to the world for what's about to come upon him. And I'm not a religious person. I am spiritual though, but I do see that this is going to shake things. So, as I said, I'm not going to tell a joke in this one, but I'll see you in the next video.